Yo, apprentices, acolytes, and fellow Sith Lords, coming into the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many of the Force sensitives like yourself. I am Lord Dagovere, and it's so good to see you, fam. Let's go. How are you all doing today? Huh? Who do we got inside the chat? Logan. Always don't hit me with a woo. Oh boy. Oh boy. Skywalker Academy. Hello there, fam. Ryoko. It's so good to see you. Sup, fam. Trent. Always good to see you. Imperial Activity. Logan. Yes. All the homies. Yo, can I get inside the chat today for the first time today? Ready up. Yo, Star Wars Order. Let's freaking go. How you doing, fam? Everybody welcome Star Wars Order with a ready up. General Kenobi. Love seeing the hello bears. How you guys doing today? So good to see you. A lot to talk about today. Definitely wanted to go over some of the Kylo Ren comics. I made a couple of videos on it, and I saw a lot of people like really confused about a lot of the stuff that was happening. Like, how is Vader doing this? What is happening? What the flip? I actually think it's really funny, but we'll get into it. And I also want to go into the bad takes. You guys have probably been seeing a lot of bad takes online. So let's go ahead and see how these bad takes are. And we can go ahead. We got a whole Discord channel dedicated to it now. I really want to continue like putting in bad takes in the channel. I also am open to the idea of like watching videos that you guys want my opinion on or whatever. I don't want it to be like reactionary stuff. I just like lore videos or a theory or something like that. Or maybe some really not so great take on why Nihilus is the strongest character in all of Star Wars, which I don't agree with. So, yeah, Here's a correct opinion. Acolyte is underrated. I think there are aspects of the Acolyte that are very underrated. But I still don't think the Acolyte is a great show. I just think that there are too many flaws for me as a person, and there's a lot of people that I'm around that love the Acolyte. I think the choreography is amazing. I think Master Soul, Indira, and of course The Stranger are amazing. And I would want to see a season 2 based on Plagueis and The Stranger. But for me, there was just a lot of flaws where I couldn't enjoy the show as much as everybody else. I wish I could, but I couldn't. I'm still very upset that live action Plagueis and we're not getting a season 2. I could talk about that all day. Logan, how you doing, fam? I'll take the first bad take. I'm a militant Jedi Prince apologist. Okay. Interesting. What? Okay, I'm actually unfamiliar with this term. What is this? What does this mean, Logan? I know I might disappoint you, but I've never actually heard of this. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can. I'm always, because my camera's in this weird place, so I'm always like shuddering and moving out of the way. All right, let me see what this is. Oh man, I hate it actually. Jedi, what is this? Jedi Prince? I thought this was Dragon Ball Z. Oh, Jedi Prince. This is a series. Is this like the Jedi Tales? Not the Tales of not the Tales of the Jedi comics. There's a specific. Oh, I think this is it. Yes. Okay. I think I literally saw this. Like Prophets of the Dark Side. Okay. Yes. So I literally saw this the other day. Lost City of the Jedi, The Glove of Darth Vader. God, man. Damn, dude. I don't know, man. Does anybody get this like really cool feeling when you look at some of the old Star Wars art? I need to show you guys this. So sound is good level 2. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just got a new microphone too, so it's I've been having trouble with the gain, the volume, but I want to show you guys this real quick. So. Yeah, Prophets of the Dark... Dude. Guys... Oh, my God, man. When I look at this art... It just gives me chills, bro. Like, I don't, something about like early 90s, late 80s Star Wars expanded universe books, the way they look, I think, is unrivaled. Like, it is undefeated, man. You know, we were always talking about how Exar Kun is like one of the first aura farmers, up there with like Darth Vader in the Star Wars expanded universe. Dude, when I look at Prophets of the Dark Side or the glove of Darth Vader, dude, I do not know. Like, even the Lost City of the Jedi with Ken on the front is just like, oh man, dude, I've never seen this one. Mission from Mount Yoda. I've never even seen this one. I've never even heard of this one. This is crazy. Dude, I've never even heard of this one. I know a lot of stuff, guys. All right, I don't know everything, of course, but Zorba the Hutt's Revenge. This guy has freaking facial hair, dude. This guy looks like such a legend. Oh my god. This is amazing. Man, these are short stories too, if I remember correctly, right? Because I've seen them when I go into when I'm doing my thrifting and I'm trying to find it, because I just found almost all of New Jedi Order, right? Zorba is Jabba's dad. Really? Yeah, the young reader and I. Okay, so all right. So I might have read Zorba when I was in school. And all right, so this is story time with Lord Dagovere. I didn't like reading books. I hated reading books. I did not read books until high school when I started playing Halo. I wasn't allowed to play video games. I wasn't allowed to do anything. For me, childhood was very strict. That's all I'll get into. It was very strict, and I wasn't allowed to do anything. High school was where I was separated from a lot of people that were controlling me, so I was able to explore things, and one of them was video games. I played Halo. Halo was amazing, got me obsessed. I ended up reading the books because I loved the story of the Halo video game so much, and that's where I started to realize that I actually liked this shit. So I remember in middle school, I think this Zorba the Hutt's Revenge actually might have been one of the first books that I was reading, and it was a short story, and I remember this was health class in like 6th grade, and I remember the teacher told me to stop effing reading Star Wars books because it's bad for my brain. So I had to read other things because in school, I don't know if they still do it, but they made us like drop everything and read for like 15 minutes. So that was the easiest way to get me to not read Star Wars books. So did you watch Star Wars at least as a kid? Yes, I was allowed to. I was allowed to because it fell into the rules of things that I was allowed to do. I wasn't able to watch it all the time, but if I did good, or I would be rewarded with things, you know, and so maybe it was like, you know, I could actually stay up till 8. Maybe it was I got a toy, you know, a single toy, you know. So yeah, but I think I remember that. I don't know. Maybe you guys, someone else in the chat. I do not know this story, okay? And you guys know how much I know about Star Wars, right? But there are gaps, specifically New Jedi Order, because that's the whole thing that I've been trying to get. And I'm literally one book away from completing the entire series, and then I'm going to read it. And the one book that I remember, I don't know if this is it. So Logan, you may need to help me out here. I remember somebody that was Force sensitive, and they were on Tatooine, and they were messing around with a Sarlacc pit, and I think it was a part of their training. And something was happening where 2 of them were Force sensitive. I think it was a guy and a girl, or 2 girls or 2 guys. I can't remember. And one of them that was exceptionally talented, probably Force sensitive, maybe they were both Force sensitive, was walking around the Sarlacc pit edges, and they were trying to walk around the Sarlacc pit without getting caught by the Sarlacc pit, or making the Sarlacc pit aware of their position. And because I guess the other person got too close and was annoying them, the Sarlacc woke up and captured them or got them. That is the one thing I remember from this story. I think there was also a shapeshifter, and I think the Hutts were involved. And I remember that was part of the story, was that they needed to get this person free who I think was a shapeshifter or something. And once they got this person free, this person absolutely destroyed whatever prison that they were in. The Sarlacc thing is from Tales of Jabba's Palace. Wow, really? Really? No shit, I don't think... Do I have Tales of Jabba? No, I have Tales... Oh, I have Tales of the Bounty Hunter. Oh, I have Tales of the Bounty Hunter. Okay. So, all these books I'm saving because there's certain parts of the Star Wars lore that I love. Old Republic, I'll get into, Time of the Empire and things like that. I know a lot, Legends and New Canon. But New Jedi Order to me is like the Bible, and I don't want to desecrate it with looking up videos and things like that. So I'm just waiting to get my own experience from it. That includes the New Jedi Order series with Exar Kun and everything else. And then also, which I'm starting to collect now, Galaxy of Fear. Because that's also something that I've been really wanting to do and get into. I'm going to be late on this one. Currently busy. Hey, no problem, Leon. Don't worry about it, fam. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm trying to remember. This. Yeah, the Sarlacc had eaten a Jedi. Whoa. Really? Man, I thought this was a young reader's novel. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm trying to cope. I can't remember. But that was cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that. So... When you say that you're an apologist, do you think, are you saying that you like it? Do you say that you really like it? I think it's cool. I'll have to take it. So Imperial Activity says by take, as you say, is that an opinion? Yes, an opinion, yes. So any bad Star Wars opinion or view that you've seen that you don't agree with, I would love to go over that today. I have a couple that I saw and that I'm probably going to get over with, and we're probably going to look at it. But I want to go in the chat first. But thank you guys for joining the stream, man. Please share it with your friends. Let all the homies know, man. It's so cool to have everyone here. Get inside the Discord if you haven't already. It's in every description and link in my video on my TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Shorts. Please get in here. Star Wars Order says, did you watch Star Wars at least as a kid? I already read that. Thank you so much. Yes, Honor is released as Zorba from jail to get revenge on the New Republic. Oh yeah, she is a bad bitch. Yeah, that's all I have to say. She's crazy, man. Highly capable. Insane. The Empire did dump Zorba in the Sarlacc, but he was belched up. I defend the Jedi Prince. Bad take. I don't like the Clone Wars. Yeah, they're cool guys, but they don't feel like Jango. I prefer the Cold Warrior EU clones. Oh, okay, the Clone Wars clones. Okay, so you know what, Logan? What I'm understanding is that there's a lot of people that love Legends. But there's a lot of people that also really love Legends that do not like the Clone Wars animated series. They think that the Clone Wars has kind of messed up a lot of the lore before George Lucas and Dave Filoni got into the animation. The inhibitor chips is like a really big thing. Like, to me, I don't know. Like, how do you guys feel about inhibitor chips? To me, I feel like inhibitor chips enhances the Star Wars lore, especially around Order 66, because I just can't see the 501st and all the clones going through everything and then betraying the Jedi. I don't know. I don't know. For me, it makes sense for a chip to take over them and make them betray their brothers. These people that they were fighting alongside with. Their best friends, their lovers. Inhibitor chips to me make the most sense. But there's a lot of people, especially the old Battlefront diehards, back in the day, we all know about the 501st journals. I understand how deeply a lot of people appreciate how the 501st just, no, everybody knew what was going to happen except the Jedi. We knew what was going to happen, and that's how it went. When Tamara Morrison says that in the 501st journals, it's just like, damn. Especially as you get older, you realize that. It's just like, man, I can't believe they did this. But I don't know. The 501st, I don't know, man. The inhibitor chips for me have it make more sense. I appreciate inhibitor chips way more than that. Yo, Bugsy coming in. Yo, everybody welcome Bugsy with a ready up. The Grand Admiral Gunner is finally here. I'm sorry. I love you, Bugsy. I can't not do that. All right. Bugsy says inhibitor chips make sense because when you have Jedi generals who treated their men, will it make sense for them to turn on them just because of a command? Yeah, and I also feel like the Jedi would have sensed their betrayal. especially soldiers. We're dealing with Darth Sidious, it's one thing, because of the Force and the dark side of the Force and how much powerful he is compared to everybody else. But, a simple clone, I don't know. To me, at least, inhibitor chips make sense. Logan says, I hate inhibitor chips. The original explanation made sense. The clones were warriors whose loyalty was to Palpatine first. I look at two things. The clones, right? And then the Royal Guards. Okay? To me, the Royal Guards are on an entirely different level, bro. Like, these are maybe, at most, 400 people that are literally the best of the best, the most intelligent, the strongest, the fiercest, the most tactical. They have to kill their own brothers just to be a part of this Royal Guard thing. And it makes sense for them to have that loyalty. But the millions and millions and millions of clones? No, I don't know. Like, I just can't. There's so many of them, in my opinion, that it doesn't make sense that all of them would just turn cloak overnight, and execute Ahsoka, or Ayla Secura, or Ki-Adi Mundi, even though I hate Ki-Adi Mundi. It's stuff like that where I just, like, it's harder for me to really have it make sense that they did this. After so many years of fighting alongside this guy, I don't know. It's hard. But the Darth Sidious did that. Anakin did that. Yeah, I know. But, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because the Clone Wars animated series. If we didn't have so much fleshed out Clone Wars stuff, maybe I'm sitting here and I'm on the other side. But right now, because of the Clone Wars animated series and the Bad Batch, and Star Wars Rebels and stuff like that, and the inhibitor chips, I don't know. I just feel like they fleshed that out so well, and it makes more sense to me. Skywalker Academy says, I like the inhibitor chips. It makes Palpatine even more evil, forcing the clones to kill all the Jedi they care about. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Ryoka also says, I think Tales of the Rebellion should be a thing. A few episodes should focus on Sabine Wren and her days as an Imperial cadet or bounty hunter days. That'd be pretty cool. But I feel like we've gotten so much era from the time of the Empire. And then Andor did a really good job. I kind of just feel like it's time to move on from that era, but that's just me, That's just me. I would like Tales of the Bounty Hunter. That would be pretty cool, see what's going on in that stuff. Tell me stories that don't just revolve around the rebellion and the Empire, if that makes sense. That's why I really like Tales of the Underworld. Yeah, you have the Empire there, but it's not the main basis of the story. Cad Bane's story was really cool. Seeing Asajj do her thing was really cool. I like that. That was really sick. I really appreciated that. But I need Tales of the Sith. I need Tales of the New Republic. I need Tales of the sequel trilogy. I need Tales of the Old Republic. I need all that stuff. I just feel like they're not taking enough risks in animation where they are the strongest. I would love to see more of that. Imperial Activity says, as I recall, there were inhibitor chips used on Wookiees on Kashyyyk in Star Wars Aftermath Book 3. I cannot remember. Because I remember Han freeing them and everything. But also the Aftermath trilogy, I'm kind of iffy about. I like certain points of it, but not everything. So a lot of that is really fuzzy because I first read it when it first came out, and I haven't read it since. Bad Blood, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Everybody welcome Bad Blood with a ready up. Darth Caedus is the strongest Sith Lord of all time via scaling. Is this a bad take, or is this what you truly believe? Because I think Darth Caedus is probably a top 5 Sith Lord. I think he's up there. I don't think he's first. I think Dark Empire Sidious is ridiculous. I think he's very, very strong. I think Crate is also slept on. Very, very strong. I think Exar Kun might be one of the most slept on Sith Lords of all time. I'm trying to think who else. I said Sidious. Oh, and of course Vitiate. Those are honestly the only people I'm really absolutely putting over Darth Caedus. Maybe you can make an argument for a couple more, but Darth Caedus, in my opinion, is a top 5 Sith Lord, in my opinion. Yeah, Mundi was killed on Magito. Yes, he was. I do not rest. I do not. I don't. I don't have any sadness for him. Skywalker Academy says, I grew up with the inhibitor chip idea, so it's something I'll always prefer. Same. Well, I mean, I guess I didn't, but whatever. I got into the lore pretty late. So I was like 2000. It was like late 2000s when I was starting to get into it. Right around the time of the Clone Wars. I didn't watch the Clone Wars. I thought it looked like VeggieTales. I really preferred the miniseries. And then I started to appreciate the Clone Wars when Darth Maul was introduced. And I think that actually got me to watch the show. Logan says, that's why I treat the Clone Wars separately. Chips were needed because they were made as clones. They made the clones too nice and friendly. EU clones were cold and serious. They treated Palpatine's orders as gospel. Yeah, and that makes sense. Honestly, it really does, because I think that's the whole point of the Clone Wars animated series, is that, brothers. That's the word that always rings in my head. Brothers. For our brothers. They really make these clones, in my opinion, very likable. Very enjoyable. And then, of course, the game, Republic Commando. Like, dude, there was just so much supplementary content that was coming out that was helping that series and that show, on top of the books and things like that. Oh, I don't know. Fantastic marketing, honestly. Fantastic. Yeah, I love that stuff. Reign of the Empire, yes. That's right. Ryoko says, understandable. Maybe Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Jango, Boba, Sabine episodes. That'd be pretty cool. I'm not sure if Sabine was necessarily a bounty hunter, though. It seems like she was more of just a Mando, making that bomb, making the weapons, and then ended up getting over. Fennec seems to be like a pretty big bounty hunter before the time of Mando. I also want to see other people, Of course, everybody wants to see Boba, because Boba is that dude, But I would like to see other bounty hunters, Honestly, I probably wouldn't even mind if we don't see someone like Cad, I'd like to see Fennec and maybe somebody else. Someone that we haven't seen in a while. But I feel like that wouldn't happen. Every time they make a series, it's always a character that has had some pastime that we know about, either in live action or previous animation. So I guess I should shut up about having a character that we've never seen before, or that we only know from the expanded universe. Bugsy says, even in Revenge of the Sith, Cody jokes around with Kenobi, so no clones were not always serious. Yes, that is true. Yes. Like, Cody and Kenobi in that instance seem like genuine friends. Even in the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin is trying to save the clones, and Kenobi's like, no, we don't do that. Like, I always thought that was a little weird of Kenobi to say that, but Anakin was the one that cared, I don't know, it just really helped for a lot of the clone stuff. I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I don't know, but I'm also an Anakin Skywalker fan, so don't listen to me. Bad Blood says, that's what I truly believe. I believe. I don't think you're wrong in thinking that, fam. Seriously. Tales of the Bounty Hunter equals Jango Fett and Dirge. Dirge. That's the other one. We need 3 episodes of Dirge. We need people to see how much of a demon Dirge is. That would be cool as hell. Hell yeah. I love that. The Aftermath stories need a release, in my opinion. Yeah, I'll check them out again. I remember it being a little slow. I didn't like the first Aftermath. I did not like the first Aftermath. The second one I thought was a little better. The third was okay. I remember the second one doing a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of characters in there that I felt like should have been in the sequel trilogy, but you know how it is versus live action versus expanded universe stuff. Logan also extends on the inhibitor chip, says that it takes away from the storytelling. Clones had a wide range of views in the order of the EU. Chips turned them into mindless drones without fault. I don't know. I think it's way more tragic, man. I genuinely, I feel like it's against their own will. And I think with a character like Sidious, it falls beautifully into that. It's just so much more chaotic. It's so much more tragic. It's so much more painful. Every single time I see an Order 66, I know these guys are so sad after. The nightmares, right? And there was actually a really good new canon comic. I think that got Yeah, no, it got retconned, which was the Kanan series for Kanan Jarrus. And, after the clones turn on oh my gosh, what's his name? Deborah Balava and Kanan, like, the clones, one of the clones, the main clone, realizes what he did and then takes himself out along with everybody else, all the other clones that are pursuing Kanan. And I've always just felt like, man, like, it's just like, it's crazy how the inhibitor chip enhances just so much chaos in that moment and the realization of what they did. And then you see characters like Cody. Then you see characters like Crosshair, which I think Crosshair is so compelling, man. Crosshair is one of the best Star Wars characters, man. And it's so crazy because he's a new canon. Like it's stuff like that to me that helps me appreciate the inhibitor chip way more than just the previous canon. I'm not saying the previous idea is bad. I'm just saying, like, for me, I'm choosing inhibitor chip every time because of characters like Crosshair and because of what the chip does to them, man. Woo! Yeah, not really a bad take, but Mundi is overhated. He was actually a great Jedi. Most of the people only refer to the Clone Wars and not his actual character development in the EU. I don't really have, like... I just don't care for him. Like, I always thought that he was just kind of cannon fodder, really. Like, he was just a side character, a big head. Was it 3 brains, 2 brains, whatever? He's not even supposed to move correctly because he's got so many brains. And then he's got, like, 7 wives because his entire population is dying, So, I don't know. It's stuff like that where I don't really care about the expanded universe for certain characters, and it's one of those things where I'm just like, I could honestly appreciate Ki-Adi-Mundi more without his story, because to me, it doesn't do anything for him. It doesn't make me like him more or appreciate him more, so it's just one of those things I'd never really appreciated about him. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think I'm a hater. It's just I didn't like him. If you were telling me to buy all these action figures, I probably wouldn't buy his. I would buy other people's first before I bought his. That's it. That's how I feel. I don't. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm a hater, but I kind of feel like I'm a hater. I don't know. But I don't hate him like that much. I just don't care for him. Yeah, but I hear you, Logan. Not saying clones were always serious. I meant serious than they were in the Clone Wars and more professional, more soldiery. Okay. Bugsy says, so with that argument, are you saying that Boba Fett is not a person? Whoa! How does this get so personal? Because he was created before the clones or even the prequel trilogy. But that lore wasn't there. Yeah, that lore wasn't there. So... yeah, that's a really... I don't know, Boba's lore is really interesting, too, because he's a Mando, but then he's not. Because he's not even really a foundling, but because his... And Jango's not really a Mando either, because he's a foundling, but then he's not. And then and then Jaster Muriel, so it's... that's also a very complicated situation. I cannot tell you how many times I'll make a video about Boba Fett, and then someone will tell me, he's not a Mandalorian. I was like, dude, the video is not even about him being a Mandalorian. That would mean Din is not a Mando either. Yes. You can honestly argue that being Death Watch, you are not a Mandalorian anymore because you're the crazy kooks that they don't want to remember. So it's crazy. But the other thing too is, like, the Tongs and the Mandalorians, So I just feel like, I don't know, man. If you want to be a Mandalorian, you're a Mandalorian. That's how I honestly feel. That's how I honestly feel when I see that stuff. Ryoko says she was a bounty hunter, at least for a while. She worked with Ketsu Rebels, an episode in Blood Sisters. Oh, okay. I may have skipped over that episode. I am not sure. Okay, I remember now. I think it was one of the characters. I think that character was only in the episode for like 3 episodes or something. And it was like, oh, yes. Oh my god, I totally forgot about that character. Oh my god, I forgot about that arc. Man, I must have been sleeping or something, man, when I was watching that. I'm so sorry. I remember now. You just now reminded me. That's crazy. Yes. Interesting. Interesting. So Logan says, I hate that they are muddling Jango and Boba's Mando culture and history. I feel like no matter what, though, Logan, it's going to change. You know, Disney has the rights. It's going to change. I'm not saying that it's a good thing. You know, all I'm saying is that the stuff that you know before, it's only going to get fleshed out, you know, and changed, you know. So, you know, I don't know. Like, I love parts of the Dark Empire series so much. You know, I love parts of the Dark Empire. And I feel like Dark Empire is, I don't know, man. There's parts of the whole Darth Sidious and everything and how powerful he is that people just completely look over. And also the Old Republic, of course. You know, also Bane. But I don't know, man. I don't want to talk badly about it. It's just more so I wish that they would acknowledge things in a different way. You know, so diehards that love Legends can also appreciate new canon more because the respect is there. You know, that's how I feel. I just want just a teensy little bit more of respect. You know, that's how I feel. Buzzy says, so if we're being honest, there haven't been Mandalorians since the Old Republic. Yes, honestly, with the whole tongs and everything. Look, dude, when you read, I need to find this damn comic, man. It's right. I literally had it the other day. I was cleaning my room again, and I said, I got it, and then I put it away. One of the final pages of Tales of the Jedi is the Mandalorian that you fight in Knights of the Old Republic that Revan kills, that Revan kills, and he's not human. He is not human in any way, shape, or form, but he takes Mandalore's mask and helmet, and then he uses it, and he becomes the new Mandalore, you know? So, like, it's so, oh, man, I don't know, man. It's stuff like that where you can kind of see, it's like, who the native Mandalorians are, and who are the new Mandalorians are, you know, and now the not-so Mandalorians are. It's so interesting, though, man. It's really interesting. Hey, no problem, Leon. Take your time, fam. Take your time, man. Logan says, canon Mando lore is so watered down compared to legend Mando lore. Yeah, but I feel like they had way more freedom in the EU in Legends continuity, because I think a lot of stuff was there because they were just trying to flesh things out, you know, and writers had a lot more freedom. They do not have the same amount of freedom. They don't. Like, bro, they do not have the same amount of freedom. And that's probably one of the reasons why stuff is watered down. I also think that they do not want to completely rewrite things. You know, maybe they'll rewrite an origin story for their animation, but I don't think they're going to completely rewrite, you know, how the Mandalorians came to be. Like, they are not touching anything from the Old Republic. Nothing from the Old Republic. Anyone that's talking about how the Old Republic is gone and erased, they're lying, bro. Like, the Tales of the Jedi stuff is there. Odan is there. Revan is mentioned and talked. The name exists. Bane exists. Like, all of that whole Old Republic spiel down to the very end with the Rule of Two it's all there. Then it's the High Republic stuff. And then after that, it's just new canon stuff. You know, so it seems like they're tiptoeing. Like, a lot of the expanded universe stuff is all ice, and they just don't want to get into the rest of it. You know, I think they should keep going forward and leave the expanded universe stuff for, I don't know, revitalizing or rejuvenating the Old Republic and things like that. But I don't know. I feel like you guys have heard me say that so much. So Mando's so much culture and identity. Now all they have is the Way and Death Watch splinter groups. But This Is the Way is really cool. I like that. I would like to see the origins and the tongs and stuff like that eventually evolve into This Is the Way. Because I don't think there's a problem with how Mandalorians are shown in the EU right now. I think the only problem comes from the lack of connection that you have from the Legends continuity. Things like Jaster Muriel and Django's origins, you know, stuff like that, and the Tongs and the Mandalorians and the Mandalorian Wars, you know, and Revan, because Revan's a big part of Mandalorian culture and everything that happens in Knights of the Old Republic, you know, and of course the Tales of the Jedi stories. I think that they need to do a better job of connecting all of that, or creating Easter eggs that help you understand that maybe these things are still connected. I think that will repair more. I think that'll help out a lot. Reactor says, shoot, I got a Mythosaur necklace. Nice. And I wear it all the time. It's a comfortable thing now. Like, I have it right there, right next to me. Dude, I love that. That's awesome, man. Every time I buy a freaking necklace, it's always a black Kyber, and it always breaks. No idea why. It happens. Logan says, the issue with the Mando culture was so inclusive and unique, and anyone could be a Mando. Very family-oriented. Less so now. But no, I don't. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, look at Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan proves that anybody can be a Mandalorian because of the whole Death Watch thing, in my opinion. And then with the third season, the whole third season is about the convert, is how she's able to walk both worlds now. You know, you can do it without your helmet, you could do it with your helmet. It's all about just appreciating the culture and the way, and being baptized in the new minds, you know. So I understand the criticism when you look at Mando culture from, you know, the Mandalorian and This Is the Way in season 2 and things like that, and the Death Watch strand, but it doesn't seem like it's always going to be like that. And it doesn't seem like it was back that way before in the Clone Wars animated series and everything that came before. But I understand and hear the criticism loudly, especially how thin Rebels made it, because I think Rebels made it pretty thin, and then the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. SJ, yo, thank you so much for coming and joining the string, SJ. I appreciate you, fam. Everybody welcome SJ with the ready up. Not sure if this was discussed, but Thrawn tells Sabine the focus on finding Ezra will reshore our galaxy. Could he mean Ezra might turn to his sign after 9 years of Peridia? Oh. So, reshape. Oh, okay, reshape. I was like, okay, so I think it's more so Thrawn trying to conquer everything. Because I don't know, Thrawn's plans are so different in live action than in the EU, so I'm not really sure. You know, because this is not Timothy Zahn's character in live action. It's not. It's Dave Filoni's character. I don't think that there's anything wrong with Dave Filoni's character. I just appreciate the live action version. Or excuse me, I just appreciate the expanded universe version of Thrawn a lot more. I think that expanded universe Thrawn is completely fleshed out. We understand what he's doing. He just has so much more depth. You know, live action Thrawn is completely evil. So when Thrawn is saying this, I believe that Thrawn is literally trying to conquer the galaxy and reshape it that way, and eliminate the Jedi, and eventually use all of the power to do whatever. I don't believe that live action Thrawn knows about the Chiss ascendancy. Because we haven't seen that. We haven't seen anything about him that acknowledges the Chiss ascendancy, you know, and him about Admiral Alani and all these other things. It's only expanded universe stuff that Timothy Zahn has written. So I just think that he's trying to, you know, he's very imperial. He is imperial as imperial can be, and he's trying to have the imperial resurgence. You know, that's how I feel. He's trying to keep Ezra busy because he knows how unpredictable he can be. Yeah, I guess, because he did lose, you know. But I assume he's way more worried about Ahsoka than little Ezra Bridger. Okay, so we'll get into... All right, so let me get into this one thing first. So I made this video recently, okay? And it was... You guys know I have shorts on every single for YouTube the YouTube videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that's all on all the platforms that I put it on. So a lot of people I felt like were kind of missing the whole concept of what was happening in this, and this is for the new Kylo Ren comic that's been coming out. And those Kylo Ren comics are actually pretty solid. I enjoy them a lot. It is the Legacy of Vader, Reign of Kylo Ren, and in the issue, so there's 2 issues. So first off, here's the thing. Let me see if I can get this going. I want to show you guys. So in this story, Kylo Ren is trying to become more powerful, right? And in doing so, he is basically following Vinay, and Vinay is Kylo Ren's, or Darth Vader's old, servant. And this guy is like very weird, very dark side-esque. And eventually they travel to Naboo. And locals are talking about how they shouldn't go to Padme's palace because they believe it's haunted. And they keep talking about this terrifying entity that appeared there and would just kill everybody. And they believe that the whole plantation and property was cursed. But it turns out the person, or the spirit, which wasn't really a spirit at all, that was doing all this, it was actually Darth Vader. But no one really knows that. They don't know who Darth Vader is. They just see this guy killing people, everybody, and it's in Padme's old palace. And a lot of people in these comments were so confused. They were like, "How is the spirit of Darth Vader doing this?" And I was just like, "Guys, no. Like, it's the interpretation. Like, people on the planet do not understand the Force. They see this giant, terrifying shadow demon, and they think it is a demon. They think it is a vengeful spirit, but it's Darth Vader. He's using the Force, And a lot of people were just like, "How's that possible? When he died, he redeemed himself. There should be no evil." Like, no, guys. Like, it's literally just Darth Vader when he was alive, and the stories terrified people so much that no one went back to the palace, So I it seems like a lot of people were getting really confused. Maybe it was because I titled it that way, about how Darth Vader or a vengeful spirit haunts Padme's grave. And that's just me trying to use the algorithm. But I feel like if you listen to the video and you read the comic, you'd understand it's very clearly Darth Vader that is doing this. Okay, and so the other one that also people were getting confused about was a very similar thing. So basically what happens is Kylo Ren gets captured. Is this the comic? I think this is the comic. Hang on, let me see. I have to make sure this is the right one. So Kylo Ren gets captured by Gardulla the Hutt. Gardulla the Hutt is Anakin Skywalker's first owner. Okay? And she captures Kylo Ren in this really stupid way, and Kylo Ren is being freaking electrocuted like crazy and tortured for an entire day. And so what happens is Kylo Ren is getting pummeled by lightning and electricity so bad that he gets thrown into this like mental vision where he sees Darth Vader executing rebels, right? And he's watching Vader, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're so magnificent." And all Vader says to this guy, because Kylo starts pleading for him to train him, to teach him, right? And what Vader says gotta be one of the freaking coolest damn things ever. And so I have to show it to you guys. And what Vader says is like, "Everything that made me magnificent, I did alone." And Kylo Ren just gets so inspired by this, where this dude literally just Dude, it's so funny. I gotta show you guys this. Hang on 1 second. He gets so inspired by this that he literally like turns Super Saiyan and destroys the whole prison that he's in. Okay, but a lot of people for some reason were like really frustrated. They're like, why is Darth Vader's spirit showing up? It's like, dude, it's not his spirit, man. It's like it's Kylo Ren envisioning this in his mind. Just like he saw Han Solo in The Rise of Skywalker. Like, this is all happening in his mind. And if it's not happening in his mind, it's probably a Force vision where Darth Vader saw his future nephew when he was alive. There is no Darth Vader coming up and showing up when Kylo Ren is alive, because Darth Vader doesn't exist in that form anymore. He's a Force ghost. He's Anakin Skywalker. He is the embodiment of both light and dark, because, as we saw in Ahsoka, he can do that. He's the chosen one. He's got immunities that he can do that no one else can do. But it's not just Darth Vader. So I didn't really understand a lot of people's confusion with it. I felt like they were kind of grasping at straws because they just dislike Disney canon so much, and I think they wanted to, cater to the idea that Disney doesn't know the lore or whatever. But I felt like the Kylo Ren comics have been pretty solid. Does it mean that the comic is good or great or is amazing? No, I just think that it's clear there and it makes sense and it's obvious. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Real ones know Django killed Gardilla. Logan coming out here. Yes, dude. Yes, but mentioned by Nia. Oh, what do we do? Oh, okay, so the chat's going off right now. You say Tong. Oh, okay, so you guys are doing the Tong things. Not sure if this was discussed. I already said this before. Thank you so much. After Prime and everything else. Okay. All right, so then we have one of the bad takes that I want. Did you guys want to see the bad take that I wanted to show you? Press 1 in the chat, please, and then I'll show you guys the bad take, and then you guys can come up with the last few bad takes before we do. I can't believe it's already been an hour, man. Every single time. Every single time, man. The stream just flies by so quick. Sooner or later, we're gonna have like 2-hour streams, guys. I promise, man. I promise. We're gonna do it. All right. All right. So let me get the bad take in here. And by the way, guys, in the Discord, there's a whole bad takes. There's an entire bad takes channel. So in the future, please link the bad takes in that channel in the Discord so we can go over it on stream. Okay, time flies when we get that knowledge. I mean, we've all been getting knowledge today, which is really cool. So this take is interesting. I think this take is very, very interesting, and I want to hear what you guys say. Yeah, I'm always drinking water. Yes, hydrate, please. I want to see what you guys say. And for me, this was pretty obvious what the answer is, but there's a lot of people that I felt like didn't really get it. Can we debate in the Bad Takes channel? Yes, just make sure, please put the links to the Bad Takes, because I want to make sure that we have the links so I can go over it in stream. And I eventually want to show on the stream everybody debating, because I want it to be highlights and stuff like that. So when the community grows, everybody can come in here, be really cool. I would really appreciate that. Tazzie's been doing a really good job of like the take stuff. And I'm assuming Logan will probably do really good too. I just want to see everybody come in here. It doesn't even matter. Like, even if you don't think it's a bad take and you want to debate and see what other people say in the Discord, I urge you to put that take in the Bad Takes channel. So this one, as you guys can see, how many Inquisitors would it take to have a chance in a fight against Vader? What do you guys think, chat? How many Inquisitors do you think could take Vader? I would love to see your guys' answers really quickly. I will wait about a minute, and then I will go ahead and tell you my answer. I'm very curious to see what you guys believe. Logan says all Inquisitors are a handful of Legends ones. Rebels Inquisitors, probably about 25. Oh, man. Okay, so it seems like the chat is saying that The Inquisitors don't really have a chance. Many Legends Inquisitors reach Dark Jedi levels. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yes. Um, in a straight fight, none of them. If they somehow catch him by surprise, then all of them, and I hope he's not pissed. All right, so we're all in a good tier. Yeah, so for me, how many Inquisitors would it take in a chance to fight to defeat Vader? None of them. None of them are going to win. It doesn't matter if it's 1v1 or all of them. I don't care if it's the Grand Inquisitor or every single person that's inside the Grand Inquisitorius. They are all losing. They are all getting stomped. They're all getting humiliated. Darth Vader is running free inside of them. He is having his way, raw dogging, stomping, I don't care, cleaning them up, folding them like you've never seen before. He's not going to need an iron, baby, because he's going to do all the folding himself. Like, when I talk about levels of dark side and power, bro, the Grand Inquisitor is nowhere near Vader. And even the little ones below him, even if they gang up on him, Darth Vader is using them for his own hands. They are absolutely getting destroyed. What I think Rebels does really well is shows how on a level Vader is against everybody else outside of like Ahsoka, you know, and even then, Ahsoka practically dies. But like when Kanan and Ezra fight Vader, they are so lucky to be alive. Even they say it like, dude, Ezra's like, how do we fight that? And Kanan is like, we are lucky to be alive, son. Like, and then of course the Grand Inquisitor, when he dies, he's like, dude, there are things that are worse than death. And then he offs himself, you know. So I think that was a really great idea to show Vader in that perspective. And yeah, dude, he only gets more powerful. They are not stopping him. None of the Inquisitors stop him. I don't even think any of the previous Legends Dark Jedi can stop him. Like, he's very strong. Vader is very, very strong. He's just too good, man. You know, maybe like, all right, you know, all right, maybe if you get like video game Star Killer, you know, and like Jarek or something, you know, all right, I think that's gonna be pretty tough, you know, for Vader. But but novel Star Killer? No, I don't think so. You know, Anakin Catwalker, yo, everyone, welcome Anakin with a ready up. So good to see you, fam. Thank you for being here. Bugsy says, I fear you to have to catch Vader sleeping to defeat him. Otherwise, see the Inquisitors with. Yeah, I don't even know if they could do that, man. They're getting stomped. They're absolutely getting stomped, man. Skywalker Academy says Cal straight up had to run away from Vader. Yes. God, I love that, man. Dude, I have a whole playthrough of my first Jedi Fallen Order playthrough and reaction. I think that's actually one of the best videos I've ever had. We may have to watch that one day. Like, we may genuinely have to watch that playthrough one day, man. That playthrough was so damn funny. Oh my god. I love that playthrough so much. Leon says, I have a bit of a hot take. Seeing Vader beating everyone is getting kind of boring. But I mean, like, there isn't really anyone that could stand up to him outside of you know, the people that can stand up to him. You know, it's Vader. Like, he is the chosen one. And again, like I was talking about last week on streams, like, even though he's 80% of the Emperor's power, bro, like, that ceiling is incredibly high, man. That is incredibly high. The people do not understand how strong Sidious and Vader are. People do not understand how strong Luke is. Not even in his prime and walking out of there alive. You know? I think there is a great lack of respect for Darth Vader, even with how much he's glazed. Especially when it comes to Old Republic fans. I fear that if Darth Vader is walking in the Old Republic, a lot of Old Republic fans are going to be very sad and humbled that Darth Vader is probably washing 99% of the people in that era. Outside of maybe like 3. I would say 4. Satele is very strong. Vitiate is incredibly strong. Yeah, it would be very interesting to see him fight Malgus. And I think those would give him a very good run for his money. I only think Revan would do well, but he would lose because of how tactical Revan is, and a lot of people sleep on how intelligent Revan is. But outside of that, I don't really think anyone else is touching Vader. Honestly, he's the chosen one for a reason, man. He's the best. He's not one of the best. Like, he's up there as like the best, you know. Yeah, absolutely. Vader has limits. Yes, absolutely. I think although he is a superhuman because of his synthetics, I think his synthetics do hold him back. Absolutely. You know, that's why I could see him losing to Malgus. I could see him losing, obviously, to Vitiate. I could see him absolutely losing to Satele Shan. Oh my gosh. I think Satele Shan would do very well against Vader. You know, and I can see, I don't know, sometimes I could see Revan taking on Vader because of how intelligent he is, but I can also see Vader, you know, beat Revan just because of how much of a tank Vader is, you know. But I don't know. I think that one's actually up in the air for me. Honestly, the more I think about it, Malgus will do really well against Vader. Man, I would love to see that fight. Malgus versus Vader. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Skywalker says there's only like 4 people who can fight him, and that is Vader. Usually Vader is kind of messing around. Vader, I think, is also at times he can get sloppy, but I think that's a new canon issue. Honestly, I like, especially with the Vader comics. I love the Vader comics. I love the Vader comics, new canon Vader comics. I love the Vader comics, but sometimes I feel like he's a little sloppy in these comics, you know. I think if you want to see Vader, Leon, get messed up and lose, read the Vader comics. I feel like every issue, this guy is getting put on his back in some form, man. I have never seen Vader get absolutely destroyed the way he gets destroyed in the Vader comics. And usually it's Palpatine or something else. Oh my god, the first time he fights that Jedi, Master Karak, oh my god, Master Karak whoops Vader's ass. But Master Karak puts the hurt on Vader, guys. Like, he really does. It's only because Vader has so much resolve that Karak eventually loses. And of course, Vader plays dirty, you know. Logan says Vader is depicted as a calculating and plotting, but those above him, like Sidious and Chronal, are able to outsmart him. I like how he's in his own league, but he's not. Yes, and that's exactly like what I'm trying to say. I don't like when someone says like, "Oh my God, that professional football player is shit. I don't know how he's on the team." But like when you put that professional player that you're criticizing in a room of average people, like people do not understand. You're not going to touch that guy. You know, they don't understand the levels of what it means to be a professional. And Vader is one of the best. You know, yes, there are people better than him, but Vader is one of the best. You know, and people do not realize that until you put him in a room with people that are not the best. You know, and they're really good, but really good is not the best. Great is also not the best. And I think that's what people really don't understand, that Vader is one of the best, you know? I love it, dude. Skywalker Academy says, kind of shows that there's still a bit of Anakin confidence inside. Oh my God, he's a drama queen. Oh my God, he's a drama queen. He is, man. And yes, yeah, he's also immature and does things, you know. He's still Anakin. He is. He says he's not, but he is. Leon says if Vader lost to Obi-Wan, he'd absolutely lose to Yoda. Like there's no way. No. I think that's the problem with the Kenobi show, and I think that's also the problem with a lot of the Star Wars stuff. Is like people aren't understanding that how much stronger Vader gets every movie. That's an entire year. This dude's been training and fighting and understanding the dark side. The Vader that you see in A New Hope, and Logan, you can call me out and tell me or back me up. The Vader that you see in A New Hope is not the same Vader that you see in The Empire Strikes Back, and the Vader that you see in the Empire in Return of the Jedi is not the same Vader that you see in The Empire Strikes Back. There's levels, bro. You know, same thing with Sidious. The Sidious that you see in Return of the Jedi is not the same Sidious that you see in Revenge of the Sith. It's crazy, you know. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy the difference. Personally, I feel like Obi-Wan Kenobi that you see in the Kenobi show is getting bodied by Empire Strikes Back Vader or Return of the Jedi Vader. I just, like, Vader is just too strong. Vader is not going to fall for that same bullshit. He's different. He's more calculated. He's more mature. He's not afraid like he is. In that movie, he's very afraid. You know? It's different. Vader is always gaining experience, getting betrayed, getting more powerful. Yes, getting put in his place. Yes, and I would argue that Empire Strikes Back Vader, from Empire Strikes Back Vader to Return of the Jedi Vader, is just on a different level because of Luke Skywalker. Because of Luke Skywalker and what happens. Like, he just found out that he had a son. Well, I guess because of the new canon, he already knew. And he was understanding that he knew that he had a son because Boba Fett tells him this guy's name is Skywalker, the guy that blew up the Death Star, which is a video I haven't made yet. I don't know why my dumbass hasn't made a video about that yet. But yeah, he does. And bro, it's like now this whole thing between him and the Emperor is even more messed up and weird and skewed, and it's all about overthrowing. Oh my God! If you guys know I love Legends, okay? But one of the new canon books, I think it is Return of the Jedi, A Certain Point of View, and the Emperor has a dream of Vader walking in with someone else that is practically more powerful than Darth Vader, and the Emperor sees himself die and get killed by another Force wielder with a lightsaber, and it's Luke Skywalker. And it is the coolest shit. It is the coolest way they depict this, like the Emperor seeing himself get killed by this other person. And then that's when the Emperor realizes, oh my God, this little shit had a kid, you know? Oh man, it's so crazy. But I think the dynamic of Luke Skywalker helped amplify Vader's power because of the suffering, because of the regret. You know, damn, Logan, I wish you would have put all these takes in before earlier. But at least you guys know now. I really appreciate you guys being so active in the Discord. But yeah, I think that 100%. Logan says Luke refocused Vader. He was focusing on hunting Order 66 survivors. Luke, yes, absolutely. It seemed to be a more refined Vader. And like, he's just different, man. The whole experience and power and suffering thing. Yeah, he was there. He was at his pinnacle of his nerf power at that point, in my opinion. Logan says, bad take. Max Rebo without legs is absolutely stupid. Dude, I don't think that's a hot take. The whole Max Rebo thing with if he does have legs or if he doesn't have legs, I don't know, man. I think it's too weird for me. I know a lot of people really love Max Rebo without legs, but I need him to have legs, you know. I don't know. The whole I don't know. That's a weird thing for me. He's already weird looking, you know. I don't want to make him more weird looking, you know. Yeah. Anyway, but I think that's it, guys. I think that's going to be it for today. I appreciate you all so very much. Check out all the shorts again, please, guys. I don't put them in the Discord because I don't want to annoy you guys so much. But please, 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 please check out every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And, of course, on the TikTok and Threads. It's so fun. And get inside this Discord if you haven't already, man, because we have so much fun. And thank you guys for turning out, man. It's absolutely so freaking awesome to see you guys in the comment sections and the videos. And dude, we are growing. Dude, we are so close to 10K, man. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers. So I really appreciate you all, you guys. Seriously, man. Logan, Anakin, thank you so much for coming over here. SJ, coming over here. Really cool to see all you guys inside the chat for the first time. Really appreciate you guys and all the diehards, as always, man. But you guys freaking know. Coming into the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many of the Force sensitives like yourself, I'm Lord Dagovere, and I'll see you around. Deuces.